Hey guys, Super Rugby Pacific Round 10 is coming up this weekend. The team sheets are out. In these best picks videos, I just share my thoughts on which are the best players to pick for fantasy and which ones you might want to avoid. Before we get into the picks though, let's take a look at this round's fixtures and the teams and matches I'm really liking for fantasy points this round. Number one, gotta be Waratahs taking on Moana Pacifica in Sydney on Friday night. Conditions look good at the moment in terms of the weather forecast, no moisture coming. And yeah, we just got that terrible news today that this is probably gonna be Moana's last season of Super Rugby. Really sad to hear that, but look, we're fantasy players, right? We're ruthless. We got to crack on. We got to feed on the carcass while it is warm. And Moana, they've been defensively very poor this year. They have conceded 50 points quite regularly. And now morale, unfortunately, has got to be pretty low. So yeah, I'm thinking the Waratahs, they can really turn it on this round, really rack up some points. It's going to bring guys into play like Jorgensen, who I'm pretty big on this week. Other than that though, we do have Brumbies taking on the Indrua Saturday night at Geo Stadium in Canberra. Conditions for this also look very good. And this is actually a matchup that happened earlier in the year in Lautoka where the Indrua upset the Brumbies, put 40 points on them. But we know the Indrua are a different beast at home. When they have to travel, they do not do as well. And the Brumbies, I imagine, they are pretty motivated to get revenge for that. And look, Brumbies, they've been a bit inconsistent this year. They have been on the skids a bit lately. So I do feel pretty confident they will win this game. But it's a question of how many points will they be able to put on? Will they be able to pound the Indrua? I'm not so sure, but I think they're still worth investment and taking that chance. Another good matchup we have this week, Blues taking on the Highlanders. Blues getting 40 points put on them last week by the Hurricanes, but man, like, you just have to say the Hurricanes, they are that good, right? So yeah, the Highlanders on the other hand, not a very strong team this year. Unfortunately, Blues will be at home as well. Conditions also looking very good for this game. And yeah, I think the Blues definitely will be good for some points here. Especially in the forwards, we do like picking Blues forwards because they do tend to get a lot of tries through their forwards. And yeah, we like to pick their forwards and get a chance at picking up some of those juicy try scoring fantasy points. And another good match, of course, Crusaders taking on the Western Force. This is in Perth though. Conditions are good. And yeah, Crusaders, man, like been very inconsistent this year. Went down to the Reds last week in Suncorp. Before that, absolutely pounded the Indrua in Christchurch, put almost 70 points on them. And the Force, on the other hand, they've been quite resilient, especially in recent rounds. Not necessarily picking up big wins, although they did get that big win against the Reds not so long ago. But they've just been quite nuggety, right? Like defensively quite strong. They've been a tough nut to crack. They've come up against some good teams and, you know, they haven't folded, right? Those teams haven't been able to put big points on them. So, yeah, even though I like the Crusaders here, again, I'm not so sure they're going to put big points on. But, look, still probably a good match to invest in as well, just because, yeah, conditions are good there. And then lastly, Chiefs versus the Hurricanes on the Friday night at FMG in Hamilton. Conditions, actually, it looks like it could be wet for this game. Forecast at the moment says on the Saturday evening, showers are going to pick up. It could turn to rain. So definitely keep an eye on the weather forecast if you do pick up players for this game. And I'm kind of fading this game this week. I said this last week with our Blues versus the Canes as well. As it turned out, the Canes were able to put 40 points on the Blues, which I did not expect, but they still weren't racking up massive fantasy points like we have seen them do in other rounds. And I expect this game to be tougher for the Hurricanes as well. And if it's wet, I mean, the wet really hurts the Hurricanes more than anyone else. We know how they play. They like to move the ball, play ball in hand, and we saw them. I think it's the only game they've lost to the Endura in Fiji and Lautoka and that wet sort of mud bath. So yeah, I think if it does rain here, that really hands an advantage to the Chiefs. But it'll also make this like quite a low scoring game as well, or at least a lower scoring game than it would be, right? Like if it rains, they're probably not going to put 40 points on the Chiefs like they did against the Blues. I've been saying that several weeks in a row though about the Hurricanes, and they keep proving me wrong, so you guys have to make your minds up about this one. But yeah, I'm definitely just mostly fading this matchup for fantasy this week. Now, like I said, getting into the player picks, starting with the outside backs. And yeah, I'm big on the Waratahs this week with that Moana matchup at home in Sydney. And yeah, that brings Jorgensen into play in a very big way. So he's probably the closest thing to a must pick this week. I have him locked in. I've also given him my captaincy for the moment. I feel very good about that. Beyond that though, I've also picked up Sid Harvey, the fullback for the Waratahs. I had him last week against the Chiefs, didn't go so well, but we have seen him put on some decent scores in other games. And again, coming into this Moana matchup, he could be a good chance for a try as well. But the other string to his bow that he has is that he does take the shots at goal as well. So that means he's always going to, have a good base of points that he's going to be getting passively, as long as the Waratahs are actually scoring tries and he gets to take those conversions. And yeah, I do expect the Waratahs to be scoring tries this round. So really like that Sid Harvey pick. Callaway, he's looked pretty decent, especially in this Brumbies game. But yeah, definitely liking the Harvey pick more because of that goal kicking aspect. Beyond that, I do have Corey Toole this week taking on the Endura. That Brumbies back three, Tom Wright is actually making a return this week. That'll be his first game this year. Tom Wright, he was extremely good last year, possibly the best pick in the Brumbies back three, along with Toole. But Muirhead is actually on the bench this game, so because Tom Wright's just coming back from injury, usually these guys who have had long layoffs, they don't get the full 80, so I suspect Muirhead might come off the bench and replace him. We have seen Muirhead playing fullback a lot this year, so yeah, that's probably one reason to steer clear of Tom Wright. And Sapsford's on the other wing, not a bad player, but yeah, I think the rest of the Brumbies back three are definitely in front of him in terms of try scoring potential. So yeah, I've gone with Corey Toole from that Brumbies back three this week. Another one I kind of like this week, and he's a bit of a cheaper option as well, is Cody Vai, 5.7 million. Like him this week just because got that matchup against the Highlanders where he will be getting some opportunities. He's also very likely to play the full 80 this week as well. Peter Aki is on the bench, who will come on and probably replace Chavi Taeli. So yeah, full 80 minutes for Cody, should get a lot of opportunities. Definitely a solid pick. With the Crusaders back three this week, you have Fihaki, McNichol, and Macca Springer. Again, another player who hasn't had a chance this year and is just returning. Severis is on the bench, so Macca, I suspect he's going to be the one that's replaced by Reese, so he won't get the full 80. But yeah, he's another player who was quite good last year. I think there was one match where he got like 5 tries and got 130 points. And yeah, he's the sort of guy who can really cash in a matchup where the Crusaders are just steamrolling somebody. But yeah, probably not the best week to be picking him. If you do want a piece of the Crusaders, if you think they're going to go big against the Western Force, I think Shea Fihaki still remains the best pick in that Crusaders back 3. Definitely a pick that I don't dislike this week either. And with all these sort of Chiefs and Hurricanes back 3, like I said, I'm kind of happy to fade that matchup this week, especially with that prospect of rain hanging over that. I really do not like that at all. And these Highlanders back 3, I mean, I like these guys, Tangitau and Nareki, but yeah, I think the Blues will be a tough matchup for them, man. I mean, the Blues, even though they got 40 put on them last week, like they were probably the best defensive team in the competition, had the highest tackle completion at like 89%, and it conceded the second most tries next to the Hurricane. So yeah, probably not going to be a lot of opportunities coming the way of these Highlanders back 3 for this week. Only other player I think to really make note of, and this isn't necessarily a great pick, but Zach Lomax, he will be making his first start of the year. He did come off the bench against their drawer. Pretty sure it happened around the 60-minute mark because they immediately had a drinks break when he came on. And I mean, this is pretty good, right? A couple of line breaks, 22 points in only 20 minutes of game time. You extrapolate that out to a full 80. I mean, you'd be running at 80 points without a try. Like, it doesn't work like that, of course, but look, I don't know a lot about this guy. I know he was a superstar in league, and usually I don't get that excited about these cross code sort of imports until they actually sort of prove themselves on the rugby pitch. But yeah, he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on in this match. I mean, I don't expect him to sort of explode onto the scene versus the Crusaders, but we want to see how he goes because, yeah, he might be a guy worth picking up in those easier matchups for the Force. Now, moving on to the midfield. Midfield is actually pretty tricky this week. At the moment, I have Whanganuku and Tupaia locked in. I feel pretty good about Whanganuku just because he is very likely to play the full 80 this week with Severis on the bench. There's no midfield on the bench, so yeah, a lot of game time, a lot of opportunity for him in a matchup that's probably not going to be the toughest match they play all year. But beyond that, I mean, it's kind of tricky, right? Because our main midfield options, our best midfield options, they're tied up in this Chiefs versus Hurricanes matchup that potentially could be happening in the rain, right? And I mean, I've got Tupaia selected just because there's not a lot of sort of other exciting options going on here, and he has been extremely consistent. He's been solid even in quite tough games. But one important thing to note about him this week is that he is shifting out one to the 13 jersey. Don't think that really changes that much. If anything, it might, sort of help him with a bit more try scoring opportunity, but definitely something to be aware of. And I mean, with this Hurricanes midfield, Proctor and Barrett, like 39 points, pretty decent last week, but for a guy that cost 10.3 million, like, not super exciting. Hasn't put in good scores in the couple of rounds before that. And with Jordie Barrett, yeah, since that Highlanders game, again, kind of not super exciting scores. Johnny Robert is also on the bench as well for this match, so he's probably gonna replace Barrett. But yeah, again, these Hurricanes options less exciting with the tough matchup and the prospect of rain. And yeah, there's just not a lot else going on that's particularly exciting, right? I think AJ Lamb, he's definitely could be another option if you were wanting to fade Fainga'anuku or Tupaia for some reason. I think he definitely could go quite well in this match against the Highlanders in Auckland. Maybe Joey Walton as well. We've seen he was able to put up that big score against the Brumbies, pretty decent against the Chiefs as well, and now in this really soft matchup against Moana, this could be an opportunity for him to go big as well. But on the bench, the Waratahs, they do have Tristan Wiley. Traditionally played a lot of wing, but last few rounds we've seen him kind of come on and play in that 13 jersey. So yeah, that means there's now potential for Walton to get subbed, which I don't really love. And yeah, beyond that, I mean, what else is there, right? Like, Pritchard's taken on the draw, but he hasn't had a good score since the first couple of rounds. And I mean, Feliuai, really not an exciting player at all. Talia, I do like, usually doesn't get a lot of minutes, but should get good minutes this game because Jonah Lowe's injured, so both him and Tavatava Nawai should get good minutes. But again, they're in that tough matchup against the Blues. And yeah, these Fijian midfielders, again, playing away against the Brumbies, that's tough. So yeah, feel good about Fainga'anuku. In the end, I just sort of went with Tupaia as the most solid option and left it at that. Now in the 10 jersey, and again, nothing particularly exciting. DMAC, again, like you can see, he's got double the average score of the next 10 almost. So yeah, he's kind of the big name in this category. We have to talk about him, but it's going to be a tough matchup against the Hurricanes. And yeah, if it's wet, it might not be a super high scoring game as well. So yeah, I think this is a game where you can actually fade McKenzie, especially when he costs 12.1 million, right? Like you really need him to be getting that 60 points or his value's gonna go down. But still, like, there's not a lot going on elsewhere, right? I've gone with Beauden Barrett. Hasn't been amazing this year, but you know, in a good game, he is gonna get these sort of 40 to 50 scores, and I think this Highlanders matchup is really good for the Blues. But beyond that, I mean, who else is there really? Like, Declan Meredith, again, not an exciting option. Rumbitu, he starts at fullback, which I do like, but again, this is sort of a tough matchup playing away against the Brumbies. Don't think there's necessarily going to be lots of opportunities. And then you look at the Waratahs, right? Because they've got that great matchup against Moana, but Debrazini, really have not been a fan of him this year. I feel like he's been quite poor most of the time. Lawson Crichton, maybe I believe he's starting at 12 this game. But yeah, again, just nothing really exciting here in these previous stats. But yeah, if you don't want Beauden, DMAC, or even Donaldson, who remains probably the most consistent 10, right? Been super solid. If you're not going for this top 3, then if you want to take a gamble, Crichton, he is probably the gamble to make. And with halfback this week, I mean, Roigard, he's always kind of like DMAC is in that 10 slot, right? Like you gotta have a reason if you're not picking Roigard. The reason this week is that it's that tough matchup and that it could be wet. And yeah, I mean, we saw against the Drua, right? Like does not really suit Roygaard's game because the defense is generally a lot more compressed in because you've got a lot more forwards play happening. Not as much room around the edges of the ruck for Roygaard to do his sniping runs. Outside of Roygaard though, I mean, yeah, like I feel like these three guys are the next best. Lonergan against the Drua, Gordon up against Moana, and actually I'd give a little shout out to Matavao because hasn't had a lot of game time this year. He's pretty much only ever come off the bench, but we've seen some pretty electric snipes from this guy. So in this Waratahs matchup, I mean, yeah, this could be a game where we see another one of those, right? So definitely a gamble option there, super cheap, but yeah, even though this match is tough for Roygaard, I kind of feel like probably still the best option if you've got the cash spare. If you don't, I'd toss up between Lonergan and Gordon, probably leaning towards Gordon just because of that Moana matchup. But yeah, not really the sort of guy that, you know, goes crazy running and tries, right? He's getting a bit older now, but yeah, he should still go pretty well. But yeah, I went with Hotham last week again because I was saying the same thing with Roygaard, right? I was saying, like, I'm fading the game. I think it's going to be tight. Turned out not to really be that way. Roygaard got 40 points. I went Hotham and he only got like 9 or something. So you can get seriously burned in this slot if yeah, Roygaard does actually end up doing well. Now, loose forward, as always, there's a lot of options. I've gone for Samu, who I feel pretty good about. Just Waratah is going to get a lot of game time in this Moana matchup. Also got Tuputai Loa and Signa. These are sort of, you know, not strong picks by me, these last two, but, you know, just one that I kind of feel good about this week. Tuputai Loa, we know we can have big games every now and then, and yeah, Waratah is not the toughest team that they're gonna play all year, so maybe this will be a game where he goes well, but again, kind of depends on what you feel like morale is going to be like at Moana at the moment. Are they going to be able to pick themselves up? I don't know. Yeah, so normally this matchup, Tuputai Loa, Whailangi, I feel pretty good about them. Whailangi is the captain for this match, but yeah, if you feel like they're not going to be up for this game because of the news we've just had, you might want to stay clear of Moana. Other one I've gone for is Signa, just because he's been pretty good lately and it's a good matchup against the Highlanders, and I feel like he's also gonna get good minutes. He's probably gonna play out the 80. In that Blues back row, we do have Dalton Papali'i back this week after a bit of a layoff. Same with Hoskins Tutu, bit further down here, been out for three and a bit weeks. So yeah, those two guys just coming back from injury. They're probably not going to play the full 80, right? I think it is a 6-2 for the Blues. They got Torian Barnes and Malachi Rampling on the bench. So yeah, I feel like Rampling replaces Hoskins and Barnes replaces Dalton, and then Signa goes to 7 and Barnes plays 6. So yeah, just feel like picking Signa. He's on form, gonna get good minutes. Do like that pick. Elsewhere options I do like, and Charlie Gamble. I'm a fan of Charlie Gamble, and that Waratahs matchup. Yeah, that's kind of gonna suit him, right? There'll be a bit of opportunities to run, which he does excel out. But he probably is likely to get subbed, right? I forget the guy's name. Is it Adam Scott Thompson or something? I think he's on the bench. He's a 7. Probably going to replace Gamble, so not going to get maximum minutes. Christian Leo Willie's there. He is captain this week. You know, I think that's the first time he's been captain, so he might be looking to put in a big one just to lead from the front. And if you feel good about the Crusaders against the Force, if you feel like they're going to score points there, yeah, Leo Willie, he could be one to go for. Ekawasi, he's a player who's been solid, but it never seems to be reflected in the fantasy points, right? Kind of similar to Rob Valentini as well. Uh, Viveni Lasanga, I do like a lot, and he is getting a start this week. And feel like he's gonna play the full 80 as well because Lucas Casey's on the bench for the Highlanders, so he's number 8, right? So he's probably gonna come on and replace Nicola Broughton. And yeah, that means Lasanga, he should get to stay on and play the full 80. But again, it's a tough matchup against the Blues, right? Like, how many opportunities is he gonna get to participate in and try scoring runs or to get turnovers? Hurricanes did get a mountain of turnovers against the Blues last week, but I don't think the Highlanders are really going to be dominating the Blues at the collision, so not going to be the same opportunities for Viveni, but still a solid pick in my opinion. Beyond that though, don't think I talked about these Canes back rowers yet. Obviously Peter Lakai, he is that back rower with the highest average that is playing this week, and he's just been really solid, especially lately. Went kind of crazy in this Blues game, got these 4 turnovers, 15 tackles, couple of line break assists. Very good, but yeah, again, like I kind of don't see this happening against the Chiefs, right? He'll go well, but probably not as well, and he's getting kind of pricey now, up there at 7 million, but definitely not a bad pick at all. I mean, if you're not sure, if you don't have strong feelings about any of these other picks, then and you got the money, then yeah, pick up Lakai. Tizano, he's back this week, but yeah, he hasn't been as good this year. Like, Tizano's strength is that he would get the ball at the back of the maul and he would score all those maul tries, but just don't see the force sort of steamrolling over that Crusaders maul defense, right? So not the best prospect this week. Now talking about the locks, I've gone with Jeremy Williams and Sam Derry this week. Feel good about the Derry pick this week because Patrick Tuipulotu is back this week. He is his locking partner that will be starting the game for the Blues. It's Tuipulotu's first game back all year. But that means that he's probably not going to play the full 80, right? He is probably going to be the one that gets subbed, which means that Derry, he's going to be the lock that plays the full 80. And that's kind of what I like to look for when it comes to locks, right? Like, if you pick up that one that's going to get more game time, he's going to get more lineouts and more opportunities to do stuff. And they're probably going to do above average, right? So that is the logic behind Derry. My other pick, Jeremy Williams. I mean, this guy, he's been the form lock of the competition, right? He's just been insane. Every game he's getting like line-out steals and turnovers, even a try in this one. Even against the Chiefs, right? Look at this, two turnovers, like destroyed the Highlanders with 4 turnovers and that terrible Highlanders line-out. So yeah, he's just been the form lock. It's just that he's getting expensive now, 6.6 million. But if you're not facing any budgetary constraints this week, which I definitely was not, then like, you may as well grab him. I don't think he's going to go as well against the Crusaders as he has done in these other sort of matchups. But it's kind of, there's not much else going on in this lock slate otherwise, so you may as well take the chance. The other big gun, of course, is Warner Dunes, and had another big one last week. But yeah, I'm more inclined to fade him this week because, I mean, that Chiefs lineout's actually the best in the competition by the numbers. I think they have a over 90% lineout win rate which everyone else is below that 90 threshold. So yeah, you're probably less likely to pick up steals against the Chiefs. Obviously, locks score points in other ways as well. But yeah, just don't really like the prospects in that matchup. Lucky Shaw coming up against the Endura. Yeah, definitely not a bad option at all, right? You would say he's a good prospect. Could maybe say the same about Frost as well, but otherwise not a lot that is interesting to me this week in the slot. Now, when it comes to the hookers, this week we get the big gun back. Samasone Taukei'aho did not play last week, so he will be freshened up. He's been the form hooker of the competition. Like I said, Chiefs, they have the best line out in the comp by the numbers. Taukei'aho has been devastating off the back of the maul and just devastating in open play as well, and devastating over the ball too. So he really is the complete package right now. But again, tough matchup against the Hurricanes, right? He's probably going to be tested more than any other match. And yeah, costs 8 million. So yeah, you might consider fading him if you are facing budgetary constraints. I mean, next cab off the rank is George Bell, who I do like a lot now. Kind of had issues with his line-out throwing earlier in the season, but he seems to have sorted that out lately. Did pretty good in this Reds game as well. And up against the Force, I mean, yeah, look, we saw how good that Crusaders maul is, right? Completely obliterated the Endura. I could see him getting some play against the Force as well in that respect. So I've gone with the George Bell pick. But yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't blame you for going Taukei'aho anyway. Another pick that might go well is Bradley Slater, just because again, the Blues, they do like to lean on their forwards when they have to, and they should be able to beat up the Highlanders in the area. So he will, he'll have a shot for a maul try as well. Jack Taylor, again, like it looks like that Highlanders lineout has just gone to pieces again for like bungled throws in that Brumbies game. And yeah, it's just because again, they don't have a lock, right? They just have Mitch Dunshea, and I mean, they came good against Moana when they had Lavanini back, but then as soon as he was gone, it went to shit again. So yeah, I just expect that this line out is going to struggle again against the Blues, unfortunately, and until that gets sorted out, till Lavanini comes back or an actual lock of some sort. Yeah, I just expect Jack Taylor to struggle, right? Because he's just going to have that big sort of -8, -10 every game he plays. It's going to turn a 40 into 30, which goes from okay to bad. So yeah, not liking Taylor this week. Only other one I'd really mention maybe is Pollard, just coming up against the Endura. I mean, we saw the Crusaders expose the Drua at maul time in that game a couple of weeks ago in Christchurch, where they put almost 70 points on them. But I mean, I kind of made the Pollard pick when they played the Endura in Lautoka, and didn't really work out. only 20 points that game. He did come close a couple of times. The Brumbies did go to their maul, but yeah, they weren't quite able to convert off of it. Maybe, we're a few weeks later now. Maybe that's changed. Maybe they've sharpened up that maul. Maybe they'll try it on again. Maybe it'll succeed this time. But after getting burned that first time, I'm not inclined to go back to the well. And lastly, with the props, I've gone with Renata and Ta'aval. As it so happens, they are the two highest rated props in terms of average that are actually starting this week. And yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Like, Renata, I've already talked about him a bunch. He was super solid last year. He's been solid this year. He also does get opportunities to get close range tries, which is a way the Blues like to score. And with the Highlanders props, I mean, they're right up here just because they get a lot of minutes, right? I mean, the scrum is basically the one thing the Highlanders sort of have going for them, right? It's one thing they can use as a bit of a weapon, but only while these two guys are on, and that's pretty much why they get the big minutes, right? Like we saw it last week against the Brumbies. I mean, Brumbies had so many penalties go against them, and I swear they were getting penalized basically every single scrum, and that kind of, you know, that was kind of the big edge that the Highlanders had in that game. So yeah, more minutes, more game time just kind of really works for fantasy when it comes to this prop slot. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a muchness, right? Like I always say this about the props, it kind of there's not a lot they can do to get a lot of points, right? I mean, unless they get a try, which is extremely difficult to predict, there's you kind of just stick to the guys who are near the top and that you can afford, and you'll be fine. Only one to really keep an eye on is Alatoa. We saw him make his comeback last week against the Highlanders and did not get a lot of game time, did not get a lot going. He was probably one of the top props last year in fantasy, if not the top prop. So just keeping an eye on him to see what his form looks like. And I mean, now that he's got a bit of game time under his belt, like, you know, this could be the comeback round for him. They are taking on the Endure. And one of the reasons that Alatoa was so good last year is that he was just scoring so many close range tries, right? Like whenever the Brumbies got down to the red zone of the opposition and just rolled their sleeves up, Alatoa was the guy to convert in those situations. And they look for those situations a lot, and they'll probably find them a lot in this game. That they can draw penalties out of a team like the Endure. So yeah, he could well be a good option, but I'm just waiting to see if, you know, we want to see his form actually pick up first before we jump in there and grab him. Now, as for the captains this week, yeah, kind of Jorgensen no-brainer for me, to be honest. Yeah, 100% Jorgo. Beyond that, if you don't have Jorgo for some reason, there actually isn't really anyone else that I'm super confident in, at least in terms of pulling in a big score. So yeah, as usual, you kind of just look at your outside backs, or potentially your 10 slot if you got someone like DMAC who will be kind of reliable. Even in a tough match, even if he doesn't get a massive score, he's probably not going to get a terrible score. And you know, often like Taukei'aho has proven quite solid as well. But yeah, if you want to chase the big points, you have to look at your outside backs. And yeah, for me, Jorgensen's just kind of a no-brainer this week. I expect a lot of people will be locking in Jorgo. And with the boosters, pretty much the same thing, right? Like the only thing I would really consider using my booster on this week is a Jorgo triple captain. But yeah, you don't have to use it now, right? We've still got lots of prospects to come. We've got Super Round coming up soon. It might even be next week, right? Where the Crusaders take on the Waratahs in the brand new stadium under the cover. They're going to be up for that match. There's going to be a lot of Cantabrians there. There's going to be a lot of atmosphere because of the roof. That'll be a big occasion. So wouldn't be surprised to see the Crusaders go big there. We still have the Hurricanes playing Moana again in a couple of weeks as well. That'll be an opportunity to use triple captain or co-captain. So yeah, I definitely you know, I think using the triple captain on Jorgo, definitely not a bad idea at all this week. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes supernova, but yeah, I think I might sort of wait for one of those future opportunities still. Anyway, guys, that will do it from me. Don't forget, if you're investing in Chiefs versus Canes, check the weather forecast closer to the kickoff time, because yeah, rain definitely could affect that game a lot. Otherwise, hope you found this video useful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and enjoy the games on the weekend. Otherwise, have a good one. I'll see you later.